Firebrand Studios 801 presents self-awareness, healing, coping, breakthrough, taking back your God-given power. Slayer's Redemption Chronicles personified from bondage to breakthrough. Hosted by Prolific Tay and Tiff. Where we come to heal or die trying.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 4 with your girl, Prolific Tay, and my co-host, Tiff. We are here with episode 4, Identifying the Cycle. How have you been, Tiff, since the last time we've met?
I'm exhausted.
You're exhausted? But needless to say, you're here.
Yes, I am here.
So on tonight's episode, guys, we're going to talk about various topics of identifying the cycle. Mainly, we're going to really kind of focus in on self-sabotage tonight. Okay? And I'll just start by reading off just the basically intro to like how self-sabotage comes across and where it can affect your life. Okay? And then we're going to get into how you breaking the cycle of self-sabotage. So cycles of self-sabotage refer to patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that undermines one's goals, aspirations, and well-being. These cycles can manifest in various areas of life, such as relationships, career, health, and personal growth. Common examples of self-sabotage are as such. Number one, we're going to go with number one for right now. We're going to talk about negative self-talk and self-doubt. What do you have to chime in on that and say, Tiff? What are your thoughts?
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week. And like how you talk to yourself. Would you allow someone to say the things that you said to yourself? I mean, say the things that you say to yourself to you. I was saying it right. And so like that's that negative self-talk, and self-doubt is tricky, right? Because like I think there's a difference between um a lack of confidence and self-doubt.
Okay.
I could lack the confidence that I might do something in the way I want to, um, versus completely doubting that I could do it at all. Both are problematic, but self-doubt hits a little harder. When you doubt your ability to do anything, it limits your perspective.
Yeah. And I feel I'm gonna just put it out here from like just personal experience. Self-doubt and negative thinking can definitely be attached to trauma and being connected to the wrong people. And it goes with another self-defeating behavior of seeking validation. Because if for me, previously, I would, when I would like spring an idea on someone or share like something that I want to create or even like pursuing my life, if they gave me a certain facial expression or body language, or even if they had criticism, be it constructive or not, I would shrink. It would play into the low self-esteem that I had at the time. It would play into the negative thoughts that I carried, like automatic negative thoughts. And we kind of just piggybacked on, we just kind of talked about that in the last episode, how intrusive thoughts can come right into play.
Yeah. That seeking validation is real because when you doubt yourself, you look for others to affirm you.
Mm-hmm.
You really do have to learn to affirm yourself even when you lack confidence.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I'm going to start back doing, what I used to do, I used to write notes on a post-it, and I would put it all around my mirror. I'll put them in my bedroom just to constantly reaffirm myself. Like at times it has been hard for me to, like this week, even with it just being Wednesday, it has been a drag, kind of.
Right.
Like I'm glad that we were able to show up and don't seemingly look like what we've been through at times. And that's me right now. So, and I'm grateful to be here. And it's just like, by me stepping to continuously coming back to this platform, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And so I've had to learn to really, really pump myself up, Tiff. Like in the way I think, the way I feel, how I interact, how I respond to other people to make sure that I don't bleed off into their day and what they, because you never know what somebody else may have going on. You know what I'm saying? So let's try to let's see what's next on the list. Procrastination and avoidance. Baby, listen here.
My specialty.
My specialty. It's like procrastination wants to just seemingly be my best friend. It wants to be my bestie. And that is something that I'm still growing through. That is something that has been a major self-defeating behavior, procrastination. And I can believe that now, since I'm in the season of my life where I don't like to respond to negativity or drama or BS, that I can avoid things at times that actually need to be aired out. They
Yeah.
actually need to be aired out.
Yeah. And this is gonna pop up later in the list, but a lot of my procrastination and avoidance is centered around perfectionism.
Mm.
Because I'm a Virgo. But like
Uh-huh.
if I can't do it the way I think it should be done,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait until I feel like I can do it the way I think it should be done. The avoidance is also a trauma response. Um, and as someone who I've gotten better at the avoidance, not so much the procrastination. The avoidance though. Thinking that you can avoid things that you don't want to deal with, avoiding feelings you don't want to feel. Um,
Man.
like it gets deep. And so it's like I have to counteract that. I've started to just like if I can't get it done perfectly, it just needs to get done. What's the saying? Do it ugly. Do it
Do it
wrong.
broke. Do it
Yeah,
scared. Do it afraid. Do it
yeah.
alone. Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be perfect if it just
Started
needs
from the
to
bottom.
be
Now
done.
we're here.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
period.
I suffer from procrastination real bad.
It is genetic, Jordan.
Real bad, babe. Real bad. Real bad. And it's and in my next season of my life and where I wanted to go, that is something that I have to conquer. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Mm, okay. Duly noted. Duly noted. For me as well. There's nothing like being around innovators and motivators and go-getters that push through no matter what they got going on. You avoid what you can't fix. See, for me, I think I can fix every damn thing. And certain things are not even it's not even my place to fix it. It's not even my place to fix it. And I've had to learn that, especially when it comes to my young adult children. Especially when it comes to my young adult children. I try my best to I've had to cut that carrying the burden of trying to fix things that they have that's inevitable. Like I can't certain lessons in life, they have to learn from experience.
Right.
And I can't cover them from it. That's very good, Shamika. That's excellent right there. The only time my procrastination becomes an issue for me is when people in my circle are sluggish. The energy bleeds onto me. That's deep.
Yeah. I
I've learned, I've learned in my own personal time, and it's hard to do. This is easier said than done. And it just depends on what's going on because I can be affected by energy that's non-spoken. When you can feel the aura, you can feel a person, and it may not even be negativity. That's something that's going on towards you. It could be just something that they have going on in their personal lives, and they're trying to regulate it so that they don't bleed, but you can still feel the energy because it's magnetic.
right.
Unhealthy relationships and people pleasing. My God, today.
Always
Because,
skip to self-destructive habits and fear of failure and perfectionism.
baby, I done went all the way down. Self destructive habits, meaning substance abuse and self harm, meaning vicious cycles of basically doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I had it bad. One of my trauma responses and my triggers would be if something pisses me off or throws my emotion off, I would go blow money. I
Yeah.
would go blow it fast. Sometimes with my kids, sometimes without my kids. I would go fuck up a bag. And that would be therapy for me.
Yeah. Same. Retail therapy is real.
Whether it being retail, movies, buying weed, going to the happy hour every damn day for happy hour.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there from happy hour hours to club hours.
Right.
Me myself. Drinking like a damn fish. Me myself personally. So, and I guess when it comes to habits, it goes into, like I said, spending money. Spending excessive money on things that you like, shopping, weed, party favors, alcohol, food, buying friends, buying time,
Yeah.
all sorts of things, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. Self-sabotaging beliefs and mindset. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve success. I've dealt with that. Not necessarily like saying that I don't deserve success because I believe that I deserve success, but at times I've never been jealous or envious of successful women. I would admire women that were very successful, but they would frown upon me. I wouldn't be accepted in their circle. So at times it would play on my mental as if like I would never fit into that circle. I would never be able to take a seat at their table. I would never be able to take a seat at their table until I realized I am the table and the damn chairs.
Yeah. I think that has showed up differently for me in the sense of um
Absolutely.
I have never struggled with whether I feel like I'm good enough. It has always been whether I think other people perceive me as good enough.
Yep.
And so then again, that seeking outside validation, uh,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I know I belong in this spot, but do they think I belong in this spot?
Like I see you for the fierce force that you are. Like I admire what you're doing. I'm not saying that I necessarily want to be like you, but I know I have the skills to pay the bills, and I know that I'm an asset to the team.
Yeah, I think for me, and I think not just for me, I just think in general, oftentimes that is because we're fighting against what we've been socialized to believe is the right way. And so when you deviate from the path that has been told, that you've been told is the right way or the right path or the right way
Mm-hmm.
to do things, then you start to, again, the self-doubt comes in. You start to question whether you're good enough, whether you deserve to be there. And it's that cycle. It's vicious. It keeps you stuck in the
Yeah.
same place.
Shamika Marie, I allowed a man to tell me I wasn't good enough. Then one day I woke up, and that'll never happen again. I've experienced that. I've experienced that as well. I had a man that I love dearly talk about my assertiveness, my network, what I did for work. Even told me that people from the neighborhood that we grew up in would make fun of me. They would never accept me because you're talking white. I wasn't talking white. I was speaking assertive and I articulate my words.
Right.
You're talking white, and you know who.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. And when it comes to somebody that close to you, it sets in and it hurts you. It can really fuck with you. Same, same. I've been there before. I have been there before. I have been there before. And when you come across an individual like that, I had to learn this. That's how they view themselves. They view themselves as not good enough. They can't see themselves going anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'm just now starting to recognize my own potential and not needing to assist others in succeeding from my own self validation. Come on, Jordan.
Yeah.
Same, absolutely.
That people pleasing,
It's
as a,
self defeating.
yeah, as a way of seeking affirmation or validation.
Yeah,
Um, and at the end of the day, when you people please, you dishonor yourself,
you
um,
do.
because you're not going with your instinct. And so, and that's different if your instinct is to do the thing you want to do, right? But often people pleasing is about, I'm going to do the thing I don't want to do so that X, Y, and Z feel better. So when you
And
don't,
let's,
oh,
I'm
when
sorry.
you don't honor yourself and show up for yourself in the way you need to, again, you stay stuck in the same place. You're not going to go anywhere because you're not honoring your own feelings, your own thoughts, what you want, your own wants, your own needs.
Yeah,
Bad
and
behavior is usually because of unmet needs, and you can't meet your needs if you won't communicate them.
absolutely. And let's be clear. XYZ don't give a damn about you people pleasing them or shrinking yourself to not. X, Y, and Z will respect you more if you actually stood on business and be who you are.
Well,
I
that's
had to learn.
that's if X, Y, and Z is supposed to be around you, because oftentimes
Got
X, Y, Z
facts.
do want you to keep people pleasing because it benefits them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and you know what? And so that's in terms of, so when you do, that's the saying, when you're on your way to the top and you change for the better, you lose people.
Hmm.
And sometimes it hurts. You lose the people that you thought would be happy for you because you were happy for them and you supported them and you rooted them on and you was always there as a cheerleader or an advocate for their success. And when it's your turn to sit at the table, they're nowhere to be found. Let's see what we got next. So the next portion is breaking these cycles, which requires self-awareness and recognition of patterns. Let me tell you about that. That's so ugly. To check yourself at the door, to be aware of your own shit is not pretty. Healing is some of the, it's more uncomfortable in my opinion than childbirth. I have went mentally, healing is a very, very, very uncomfortable. And at times you feel alienated, you feel alone, and you feel you do not feel understood. Absolutely. That's exactly what it creates. That's what it is the whole time. And even in you moving forward, even as you don't think just because once you step into your purpose and you stepping into what you know you should be doing, that you still won't have triggers that make you feel that way. You have to be aware. The awareness is key. When you're able to look yourself in the mirror and be okay with looking yourself in the eyes and accepting what you see, is the first key. And accepting yourself for your character flaws and your mistakes and the things that where you fucked up in the past. Real shit.
So I'm gonna real quick address self-awareness from the other extreme. As someone who has never had a problem being self-aware and way too self-aware. There's a balance, because when you are too self-aware and you are constantly critiquing every little thing that you do or questioning everything little thing that you do, again, you get back to self-doubt and all of that. And so there is a balance with the self-awareness. It's like, be aware, but be aware in a way that gives yourself grace to not be perfect. That gives yourself enough grace to show up.
I feel that. I feel it.
Because oftentimes you be like you can take it, everything in an extreme is bad, and extremes are extremes for a reason. And so that's where I've had to approach self-awareness from. It's just like, okay, like, calm down, bro. Like
not too much on people who working on themselves. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because when you're self-aware, and if you're too self-aware, you can come off as cocky and judge. You can come off very judgmental as well. Because it's like for me, if I'm seeing this, because one thing about working on yourself and self-awareness and doing shadow work, that takes integrity. It takes integrity. And you can get, if you're self-aware of yourself and then you got someone in your circle or someone you're close to or someone that you love, and you see what they're lacking, you can come off judgmental, you can come off standoffish, and you could probably say something that triggers them to shrink back into the shell that they're fighting to come out of. Instead of, you know what I mean? Instead of trying to be, can't fix it for them. And the only thing you can do, if they don't see what you see, what you've learned in your self-awareness, and God knows what it takes to get there, you can come off arrogant and cocky.
That goes back to minding your business, because like, I can see a bunch of shit. It ain't for me to tell you. It's for you to see it. That ain't my business. Your journey ain't my journey. It don't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah. Pretty hurts, but healing is needed. Good, bad, and ugly as hell. I promise you. I'm talking about ugly. Baby. Yeah. Period. Period, y'all. And girl, we're streaming on Facebook. Go girls. Go girls. Go girls. So what do we have next? Identifying underlying causes and emotions. Whew.
So real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I know we talk about we saying identifying emotions, but oftentimes we don't go far enough with the emotion that we're identifying.
Okay.
And so it's very surface level. And so it'd be like, I'm mad, I'm angry. And then you need to dig deep beyond that.
Yeah.
There's more there.
Why are you mad?
Yeah. What you mad
Why
about?
are you angry?
Yeah.
Because we all know that the truth hurts, but the truth is also gratifying. It raises your awareness. You have to be able to accept you and accept the mistakes that you've made. You have to be able to accept your fucked up family. I'm sorry, cursing. You have to be able to accept your messed up family, things that went bad at a previous job, being judged, someone stealing your idea from up under your feet. That can be a problem. Some people can't identify anything because they haven't accepted the past. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And even with myself, Shamika, you say that, and it's like, sometimes I lay in my thoughts, and like when you're going through shit, and sometimes when you're going through things in your life and mentally, things that can trigger, you would literally think about something. Me, myself personally, I would think about something that I know that I accepted, I let go, and at times it would seemingly piss me off. Something that could have happened 20 years ago. I'm talking about a thought. And then I would have to go back, check myself at the door, and be like, Tayon, really? Like it makes me do a little bit more shadow work on that, because if it can trigger me and make me even think about it, it's something that I still need to pluck the root of. Like I feel like, okay, I just cut it down, but I didn't actually pull the entire root up, because it shouldn't bother me. It shouldn't bother me. Learning
Right.
your triggers are vicious, and it's so powerful to know your triggers. But at the same time, like, what do you do when you are triggered? I was just saying this earlier, like, when I'm expressing like what's going on, because I've been in a season where I don't come back, I don't give feedback to negativity, but then it makes me feel like a bitch, if that makes any sense. Fact. Sometimes the real root of the emotion can be suppressed, and you won't really understand why it happened until you are presented with a situation that brings it forth. Yes, and then I'll be wondering, like, how in the hell did this situation make me think about 4 other things that could have happened 15, 25 years ago? Me being the age that I am now, a little bit a month over from being 42, Leo season. I'm just saying, just keeping it real. Can't be. I mean, okay. 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 Yeah, and that when that happens to me, that lets me know that I still have more work to do, and I need to approach it in a different manner, because I and in my mind and in my heart, it's like there's no way in hell I'm going to spiral out of control over this. And I know, like, some part of it, like, I accepted it, but I realized that I just suppressed it. And instead of actually dealing with it and accepting it, and even forgiving myself in that moment for what I may have accepted. Or maybe some shit, sometimes I get beside myself, maybe I should have accepted it. And instead I went another route. You get what I'm saying? And I let my emotions lead. I'm a work in progress. Practicing self-compassion. No. Seeking support. Therapy, support groups, etc. That's a good one. That is a good one. I'm working on. I haven't gotten into therapy yet. That is something that is good. That is something that is needed. That is something for me. I feel like I just got to get. I do need to get a feel. I need to get out there. I haven't even like scratched the surface of even like doing a assessment with a therapist yet. Even though I've done family therapy with my kids when they were growing up. My daughter has been in therapy before. My son has tried to, use anger management at different times. Period, Jordan. Leo gang. Gotta know it. Um, so yeah. Practicing self-compassion and mindfulness. Now that is something that I've had to do over the past 2 years of my life, 2 to 3 years of my life. Cut myself some grace for the mistakes that I've made. Cut myself some grace for the things that I let from my past relationship that I actually let set in. And I took that as something, yeah, working on therapy, so I have to learn to trust again. And it's so hard to do when your trust have been broken. You know what I mean? And in that, for me, when I let my trust be broken, I ignored all the red flags. I did. I mean, I ignored everything. It doesn't even have to be necessarily in in a relationship with a significant other. It can be in family relationships. I've ignored the signs, so their behavior has become repetitive in my life, because they do the same thing. I react the same way, and over time, it just goes away. And because that person is who they play, their position they play in your life, then here you are back again. Same things happen, and I react the same way. Once trust is broken, I had to learn to trust myself and trust my judgment and be aware of the freaking signs. Let it go the first time. Don't give them a chance. Don't give them a chance to step on you or hurt you or disappoint or betray you again. And it's not easy. It's hurtful. I'm not. If I would be lying if I tell you that it felt good or it's okay or if you could skip down Elm Street and it's all right. Tiff, you're quiet. What's up?
I'm
What are you
tired.
thinking?
I'm just agreeing with what you're saying. No notes. Praise the roof.
So what do we have? Developing coping skills and strategies. That ties into shadow work. That ties into doing the work that goes into the self-awareness. Like I said, and it's not easy. It's especially not easy when you got to hold yourself accountable for how you react. For how you react, because if you're going to sit in it, at times you can sit in it, and it's self-defeating because once you sit in it and you don't not necessarily suppress it, because suppressing it doesn't do anything. I've learned that goes into play with one situation can trigger emotions from something that happened long ago. So I've learned to not sit in things. I've learned to not beat myself up so bad when humans are humaning, when life is lifing, and I'm not reacting to it the way that I used to. I have to be okay with that. Because I definitely used to believe in getting my lick back. You hurt me. I've been nothing but good to you. I want to strike a match and ride at dawn and burn every bridge down. I want my lick back. And I had to learn, first of all, Tayan, you know how they use the term when it comes to men, they call them tender dick. Oh, this man tender dick. He all soft for his female and he all soft, and quit being tender dick. I realized that I've been tender hearted my whole life. And I used to wear my heart on my sleeve. And what I had to do was I had to learn to protect my heart. And that has not always been pretty. And I've been misunderstood in the play of protecting my heart.
I just want to say, like, you don't develop coping skills outside of therapy. I won't say that.
I was waiting on you to. I was waiting
because I guess for me, like, how did you if you could develop coping skills without therapy, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be in the space that you're in. You'd be using those coping skills because the coping skills help you to move out of that space. That's what they're for. And so, like, some type of support. It doesn't necessarily have to be there.
What are some examples of coping skills?
So, like, for instance, what we were talking about earlier, not earlier, in the past episode of the work you do to interrupt thoughts. So again, not saying you can't develop that outside of therapy, but support and guidance is needed because
it's key. It's key to it. I agree.
It's not something that happens overnight. It takes years and years and years of practice to really get to a point where you are using, because it isn't just about knowing what the coping skill is and using it. It's about the coping skill kicking in without you. Then it's automatic because you've been constantly doing it.
Okay, so you kind of froze. So you said it's the coping skill kicking in without you having to
think about it. It's automatic.
So basically, without you actually being triggered, going through the emotion, and then grabbing onto the coping skill as you process what you're going.
No, it's okay. This is happening. coping skill kicks in, because now it's automatic. I've been practicing. Every time it's gonna kick in, because it's not something I keep repeating myself. It's not something I'm practicing anymore. It's a way of life. From here on out, when the negative thought enters my mind, it's immediately shut out by something else. And the goal isn't to completely stop it, because the reality is you're not going to completely stop it. Like you don't ever get away with get rid of, like, depression is gonna be there. Like it's a brain chemical thing.
It's a brain chemical thing, and it's like, oh, when it creeps up on me at this point, I get mad because I can identify it, I'm aware of it, but I'm still needing help with coping techniques. I need help with that.
And
I do.
The other thing is the reason why I said what I said initially.
I don't want to feel depression anymore, sis. I don't want to feel it. I don't want it to be there.
That's not realistic.
No, I mean,
love you.
No. Hold on. I didn't say that it doesn't have to be there. I'm telling you what I don't want it to be. I don't want it. I don't want it to come.
I hear that.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of even being aware. I'm tired of having to deal with it. So now I know I need to, whatever I thought that I did to cope with it, it's not working.
What I'm saying is, even when the coping skills are working, depression is going to find its way back in.
Yeah, the darkness creeps up.
So,
and it pisses me off. I'm human. It pisses me off. At this point, it makes me mad. It didn't used to make me mad. It would make me shrink. It would make me isolate. It would make me shut down. Now I'm angry. Now I'm ready for therapy because I can't walk around mad.
So I was just going to push you and say, are you mad at the depression, or are you mad that the coping skills you've been using haven't been working and you don't have any in your toolkit to go to right now?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And so that goes back to the therapy thing. And so I want to, what keeps popping up is the lack of trust. And so I'll say this.
But why? Why? Can I ask a question? Why do we always have to feel some type of depression? Why does life and success have to be connected with struggle? Why? Why?
I don't think it's necessarily that they are intrinsically one. I'm going to go on a tangent. One, it's because of how
Please do, because I'm trying not to. I'm trying to hold back tears right now.
It's because of how this country is set up. And so what we think is supposed to be success and how we're supposed to live is all tied to capitalism, which is not built for our good. That's that tangent. Two, I think what I have learned more than anything in this journey with depression and just reconnecting with my roots has been, it is something that is completely out of my control. Ain't shit I can do about it. No, I won't say it ain't shit I can do about it. It's there. It was there in my mama. It's there in my daddy. It was there in my grandmama. It was probably there in her mama. Like, it's there. All I can do is get the help that I need to manage it so that it is not negatively affecting my life constantly. Does that mean that every day is going to be peaches and cream and sunshine? Absolutely.
No, absolutely the fuck not.
Every year around Thanksgiving, I know I'm going to hit the depression. It's depression time.
Holiday season.
What it is, like, I feel some type of way about my mom not being here. Her birthday is right after Christmas. She died right after her birthday. That is a tough stretch of the year for me.
Okay.
No matter how many years I've been in therapy, it's still a tough stretch of the year. How I handle it, though, from year to year is starting to look different. So
you basically saying, Jordan, that You can't have success without it being without you having to step into darkness.
That ties back to capitalism, though.
Ties back to capitalism.
Not talking about that, but
you mean like the way the infrastructure or the way the world is set up, what they consider upper class, lower class, middle class, poverty, the way that
even what's considered success. Think about
success. Yeah.
Even what we consider successful is tied to capitalism. It's all tied to how much you have, how much you're worth, how much you can earn, how much you can do. That's not sustainable.
Yeah.
That's not how we're meant to live.
That's insane.
In the past, that's not what we valued. That's not what we saw as success.
Yeah. And you know what I've been seeing going around lately? They talk about the United States, how they're like $480 trillion in debt. But in order for us to be approved for a house, a loan, a car, a fucking cell phone at this point, you have to have a certain credit score. But yet the United States, we're trillions of dollars in debt.
I think for us, for most folks, what it's going to come down to is defining what success is for you.
For yourself, absolutely.
What you consider to be a successful life. Oftentimes folks talk about their legacy, what they want to leave behind. What do you want people to think of you when you leave? And make that your bar for success.
Mm-hmm. The bottom line is we have lost or have been disconnected from the true power within us. This is why we have those moments of depression or sadness when we sense that life is a struggle. So what happens when seemingly life isn't a struggle? Kids are happy and thriving. You're thriving in your career. You're making money. Your bills are paid. Your refrigerator is full. You can entertain. You can support. I've been there and woke up in tears, woke up in darkness, fighting my way through, and my life is beautiful. I'm talking working good. I mean, everything may not be perfect, but why? It's something that I'm just working on it here, y'all. I'm working on it. That's why the name of this platform is called Slayers Redemption. And I changed my name right before I started the show because I called myself Depression Slayer, because that is something that I have been dealing with since the age of 12. Now, this is where I know therapy is coming soon for me, because I realized the place where it started. I realized certain dreams that I had for years is tied to it. Of course, you cannot have success without the struggle. You cannot. It's all tied back to capitalism and the fact that the system is not meant for us to succeed. Absolutely. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but until we truly get back to having gratitude, we will forever be bound to unnecessary emotions.
So I want to speak to the other part of where you were saying, like, even in the good times that pops up, because this was just a topic in therapy for me.
Cause damn, that like I was telling Shamika, like, you wake up and you have gratitude because you're grateful. Whatever happened in the past, it is what it is, and what you have now is okay. Everybody's fine. Everybody's blessed. It's all good. You're working. You're making money. You're able to do things. You see your kids striving. You're coming to, and you still at times be in the darkness.
I was talking to my therapist about this because I was like, yo, listen, nothing's wrong. Life's great. This is the first time in my life I can truly say I am happy. I am content.
Come on, sis.
The boys are in a great place. Like, I'm good. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, and so,
baby, I'll be ready to shadow box, swing in the air. Like, what?
She had to remind me, because, and this goes back to something else I said before, but oftentimes when we remove ourselves from the context of trauma, your brain forgets. The body does not.
Mm.
And so the brain's still part of the body.
Yeah.
So you may forget, like, damn, I just posted on Facebook. The last week has been a struggle. I couldn't figure out why. I looked up Monday and realized it had been 6 years since I had tried to end it. And I'm like, oh, this is why. Because my body is like, bitch, it's that time
Yeah.
again. You ready?
You
And I'm
ready?
no, I'm not ready, bitch. I'm fine. What we doing?
Yeah. Move around. You have no place here. Leave here.
I rode that wave though.
Yeah.
Felt those feelings because they're there. They're valid. Okay. Felt what I needed to feel. All right. We felt that. You
Mm-hmm.
good? I acknowledged you. I see you. All right. Let's keep moving.
We gauge our success upon other people. When we really stop looking at other people, we can focus on our own lane. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That is something that I have surpassed at this point in my life. I'm just saying it is something that I've always been happy for people. Like I've always been happy for people. I've always believed that there's enough money for all of us. I've always believed that there is not nothing in this where I'm limitless. But it took me a long time to get here. And I feel like because at times I've should like the work that I'm doing now, but see, I had to forgive myself for this. So you get what I'm saying? Like the work that I'm doing now, that when I was in a place when everything was good and everything was thriving and my kids were okay and I was making money and I was able to, and I was seeing them laugh and smile and I was okay and I was doing things, I was doing public speaking, I was interning at radio stations, like had positive people in my life. I can believe I've seemingly ran positive people away before. When you accept that nothing is perfect, then you can move through the depression.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Feel it, address it, and move the fuck on. Period. 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 You have to. And even if people don't want to address it, because see, it's easy, like me and Shamika was having a conversation earlier. It's easy to be when you're transparent, and it's easy for people to tell you what you need to do when you're verbally expressing what you're dealing with. It's easy. Now, what is hard to do is take accountability and accept and push through it. Reframing negative beliefs and thoughts. Mm, mm. I think we kind of just tapped into that as well.
Yeah.
It's the work, identifying it, accepting it, and applying it are all different lanes. At first, I thought they all went together. Like boom, it just all can work as one big happy family. We're just all in one big gang. No, I'm learning as I keep walking that they are all in their own lane. So once you get the skills to handle acceptance, then you have to learn how to cope with what you've accepted. Then you have to learn, once you get the coping skills to cope with what you accept, you have to apply it into your life. I thought it all would just come together like Neapolitan ice cream, chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, real fire.
And unfortunately,
Unfortunately, that's not realistic.
I wish.
Baby, like Ray J, don't give me the singing. People have high expectations of what life should be. And when life is not the way they expect it to be, then they end up in a struggle. Unrealistic expectations. Sometimes you have to say, just like setting goals for doing things, like setting goals for weight loss or setting goals for starting a business. I've learned you have to set realistic expectations, especially when it comes to your finances. I'm learning this. Because in reality, we weren't born, we wasn't born heirs, and we did not inherit millions of dollars. So we definitely got to work. We got to work a job to work on the other project. We got to work a job to start the business. We got to work a job to create a platform. Let's see what we got, y'all. Remember, overcoming self-sabotage is a process that takes patience and kindness towards oneself. Yes. I've had to learn that grace is given. You have to cut yourself some grace, Tanya. Like, grace. Cut yourself some slack. That's why it goes back to what Tiffany said in our last episode, like celebrating the small wins.
Yeah.
You celebrate the small things. You celebrate the small things. You celebrate the small wins. You appreciate yourself. And what I'm realizing, the more and more I dig deep into spirituality, I dig deep into walking in purpose, keeping my platform going, I'm starting to be revealed certain things. And it's going to be, and therapy is coming soon on the roster. It's coming soon because now I need to know what to do with it. Because sometimes being aware of something can tear you down too.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned that it could tear you down as well. Baby, listen, just period. You work a job to create another job for you to work your ass off again. But one job gives you purpose. One job gives you fulfillment. Because sometimes working places, a lot people work and make good money and they be miserable as hell. Because they hate what they're doing to make the money. The money's good. It's keeping us afloat. We're doing great. I'm never short. You know what I'm saying? And when the kids need or family need, I'm there. I can do it. But I'm dredging, getting up and doing this shit every day. Or you get burnt out. You don't give yourself time to smell the roses. You don't actually really enjoy the fruits of your labor.
The ghetto.
It's given.
It's ghetto.
It's the ghetto.
The
And
ghetto.
it is. It is. And it goes back to capitalism. Like working in certain jobs and the way the cost of living is. And you got men and women out here working 2 and 3 fucking jobs just to be able to pay their bills and live nice. Have nice things, dress nice, be able to support your kids. Let's talk people who own their own damn homes. When you own your own home, there are no landlords, there are no maintenance men. You are it.
Also ghetto.
When you buy a car, cash out. There isn't a warranty. There isn't a dealership shop that you can pull your car up in and get a discounted price on what needs to be fixed, or get a discounted price on the parts, or get something fixed that has a warranty on it.
Right.
You know?
All very ghetto.
Huh?
All very ghetto.
All very ghetto. It's given the ghetto. We gotta work. Make sure I didn't miss anything.
I feel like breaking the cycle part is the most important. But I feel like oftentimes we get stuck in the identifying, and stuck, like I said earlier, in a literal cycle of self-awareness where you just identifying shit and not doing shit about it. Like, I know it's there, and sometimes you don't know what to do about it. It's back to therapy, but I feel like oftentimes, just in general, us as humans, as people, Because the identifying part is easy, right? Once you get to a point where you're able to do that, the
Yeah.
identifying part is easy. The hard part is the shift.
Yeah.
And so the grace and the compassion, all that's important, because
Yeah.
that shift ain't gonna happen overnight.
A shift ain't gonna happen over a year. Shit, overnight. And you have to be okay with repeating certain steps. It goes like with the 12 steps, like of alcohol and Narcotics Anonymous. When they're working the steps, sometimes they triggers happen, things happen, and you have to repeat steps. But it goes into what you said. Accept it. Don't stand there too long. Pick yourself up, repeat the step that's necessary, and move forward.
Well, it's like you often hear people say grief isn't linear. You don't go through those cycles in a line. Healing is the same way. You're gonna circle, you're gonna have to spin the block on something that you, like you said earlier, that you thought you dealt with or that you
Yeah,
healed from, and you find that that's not the case. Um, you got to be prepared to go through. That's a different type of cycle, right? It's still a cycle, but it's a different type of cycle. The work looks different. The effect on your life is different.
absolutely. I'm trying to share the show from my phone. And again, there are so many. Self sabotage is just one cycle to identify.
Right. You're gonna find several cycles that you're gonna have to identify and break.
Cycles of neglect, of abandonment.
Mm,
You you have then you have the phases. Once you go through the cycles, you have the phases of trauma. You have the impact phase, you got the rescue phase, the intermediate recovery phase. Baby, that's the intermediate recovery phase, what I just spoke about. When you something triggers you, and then you go back to something, like literally having thoughts and like literally have real emotions about something that you felt like you got over.
right.
And it's the long-term recognition phase, or the four phases. PTSD can be divided into four phases. Those are the four phases. Unresolved childhood trauma, what it looks like in adults: confusion regarding self identity, disassociation, and relationship problems. Baby, trauma runs deep. Flight, fight, freeze, and fawn. Four core traumas. I wonder why. What the fuck?
Those are the responses.
They said, what are the four core traumas?
Oh, those
It,
are
it
uh,
says fight, flight, freeze, and fawn are built-in defense mechanisms, that are meant to help people respond to stressful and traumatic situations.
yeah.
Now, may these all be healthy? I don't know. Intrusion symptoms. What does unprocessed trauma look like? Intrusion symptoms may look like nightmares about the trauma, disassociation, or intrusive memories. I just spoke on that. Just spoke on that. Because there's a dream that I used to have that I had it recently, but it used to be more frequent, but it came back. Now, since I've been walking and healing and I started my platform, like I have to be like I said, shadow work takes integrity. You can't be transparent and you're trying to work. I don't believe you can be transparent and trying to work on things if you're not trying to identify within and really work on within. I finally realized at 41 years old why. I thought it was because I just missed that place. But talking to one of my friends that I grew up in that place with, and we've been talking more, I've realized that my trauma started there. I'm ready. I'm ready. Tonight's episode was great. I felt like we had a good show, guys. The comments were good. The subject point was great. Because we can go. We'll be here. We can be here all night long, just wrapping our minds around the different concepts of trauma and how deep it runs. Because you have core traumas, you have aches of trauma, acnes of trauma, domains of trauma, signs, causes, unresolved, unhealed trauma, the 4 P's of trauma: physical, psychological, performance, and people. The 6 R's of trauma: relevant, rhythmic. Am I saying that right? RHYTHMIC, sis? Rhythmic. Did I pronounce it right? Okay. Repetitive, relational, rewarding, and respectful. What is an example of a little T trauma? A breakup, the death of a pet, losing a job, getting bullied, or being rejected by a friend group. Little T trauma refers to events that typically don't involve violence or disaster, but do create significant distress for young adults. What are the 4 F's of CPTSD? Oh, we just said that. What are soul wounds? It is a very deep and very intense wound which influences a person's life and which will be at the origin of a mask, a protection in front of others. How many people are walking around like that? Well, I thank you guys for tuning in. Hold on, we got a comment. Trauma bonds. Yes. Yes. Trauma bonds for sure. Absolutely. 3 stages of trauma recovery. 3 stages of trauma recovery to find peace. Stage 1, safety and stabilization, remembrance and mourning, reconnection and interrogation. I'm going to have to dig a little bit more into that. Reconnection and interrogation? Integration. Yeah, I'm sorry. Integration, not interrogation. Well, guys, tonight's show was good for me. I'm going to take it and process some things. But I do want to leave you guys with just a jewel for all the fighters and the warriors out here. So I got something for you.
Don't shut down. Don't let nobody evil make you evil with them. Stay with it. Don't make nobody negative make you negative. Stay with it. Don't let a hater turn you into a hater. Stay with it. I want you to be the kind of person that's so happy all the time you irritate the people who hate happiness. I want them to see you coming. She too happy. I want to be. Stay with it. Touch 3 people, say, don't shut down. Don't shut down. Why can't you shut down? Because John said it in Revelation 3. He said, I set before you an open door. The door is open, but if you don't stay with it, you won't walk through it.
Got another comment. How do you heal a soul wound? We're going to have to come back on that with Jordan because I'm working on that. I want to know. I would love to know. I'm reading on it. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap up tonight. Tiff, do you have anything else for us tonight, lovely?
I'm good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. We love y'all. And we will see y'all next week. Next week, we'll be back with episode 5. Be on the lookout for the flyers and updates. I'm going to start giving more content to bring more traction to the YouTube channel and to our Facebook page. We love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, be great. Cut yourself some grace and say less, baby.
Slayer's Redemption, Chronicles personified, from bondage to breakthrough. Special thanks to this week's sponsors. Find us on our social media page